John Fricke's in for Carl Dukes. Carl's down in Mexico. Hope you guys are having an awesome weekend, or at least starting the weekend right now. Falcons are doing the OTAs. Everybody seemed to show up. Not everybody had to be there, but it was great to see veterans, guys that are, let's be honest, near the end of their careers, like Calais Campbell, Arthur Smith. He was talking about the veterans already making an impact, sharing knowledge with the youngins at camp in Flowery Branch.
Again, it goes back to the right players, the professionalism, the way they approach their job, and their different points in their career, and their training methods and the way we do business here. But there's also other things they can bring to them about what's important.
I know that not everybody wants to teach somebody how to take their job. We've talked about Ryan Tannehill basically saying, screw these quarterbacks, which I get. But there are sometimes guys at that stage of their career, and again, quarterback's a completely different position because, you're trying to hang on and make the big bucks. But the way that Dwight Freeney helped the guys and certainly helped the guys with his presence on the line when we got him in 16. One of those guys this year we hope is going to be Calais Campbell. Well, you and I were just talking off the air. Arnold Ebiketie, D'Angelo Malone. These guys got to pop, especially the second-round pick. Here's Calais Campbell about helping the younger guys.
Oh, that's a big part of it. Sharing knowledge, 15 years, a long time, and I've accumulated a lot of knowledge doing that, in all facets too, like on the field, off the field, and, pretty much every position I could get some kind of advice, but D-line especially, some of the young guys, see a lot of potential in them, and it's like I can't help myself, and I got to, give my 2 cents. I let the coaches coach, of course, but, I wouldn't be myself if I didn't, speak up and help guys where I could.
Yeah, absolutely. You help Ebiketie. That's what he's going to do. I still need him to play, though. I mean, I can't be just when Dwight Freeney had a decided impact on that locker room, no question about it. He and A.J. Clay with some of the young linemen like Grady and Vic and that crew back in 2016. Bijan Robinson has the good, and for that matter, Tyler Algier has the good luxury of being in the backfield with CP84. Right. It's sort of like when the young guys come here to the radio station, Mike, and you and I were kind of old, wily veterans, and they want to be on the air, and we usually just tell them, shut up and just push buttons. We don't let them.
Some people I have tried to help. Some people you just can't reach.
I don't.
Hey, man, here's Calais Campbell.
No,
and by the way, when I say big fella, we mentioned this yesterday for guys who missed it. You guys know Jarvis. Jarvis Davis, his podcast, has been with us for years. Jarvis is a big dude. Played D-tackle at Albany State. And he looks like me standing next to Calais Campbell. He's a mountain of a man. Here's Calais on what he thinks of the organization. What's he seen so far?
It's a great environment. I think there's a lot of guys that are hungry. I think that's the biggest thing is you see a lot of potential and everything, but it really comes down to are the guys willing to work, put the work in to kind of be the best they can be, the best version of themselves. And all of us as a whole, can we, put the work in to kind of really improve? And I like the structure of the practice and the way we do things, and allows for us to all kind of improve on things and work with each other. And, we work hard, that's for sure.
Well, I got to tell you, the more I watch this team, the more I look at this team, the more I think about this team. If 10 is the number, I am inclined to bet the over, not the under.
I'm with you. I got 10. I think we got to beat the Saints.
I think there's more likely that they win 12 than they win 7.
Easy, Tiger. There's always teams rising and falling. You know that. There's always a team that's on the.
You mean falling like the Buccaneers are going to fall on their face?
Yes,
falling the Swampers are going to fall on their face?
Somebody showed a picture today of Baker Mayfield throwing his.
Oh God, please help you!
I don't know if it was his first throw, but it was funny because here's Baker Mayfield. He's in midseason form and he overthrows a guy's wide open. There's nobody. They're not. They're in shells. There's nobody covering anyone.
I mean, because there's an addition by subtraction. Just not having the noodle arm quitter around anymore is an addition to the. We may not have the best quarterback room on paper, but we don't have the worst anymore because we don't have that dude.
Right. Mariota drove me nuts. I told you guys back last summer. He's a bum. He's a journeyman at this stage, and the fact that he quit was pretty pathetic, if I'm honest. The new kid is ready. Here's Ritter because he had to wait for that Mariota thing to run its course. He says this year a little bit different than last year.
This time last year, my head was spinning. And obviously after having a year under my belt, going through a full season and a full off season, it's become a lot more comfortable. Now we're just trying to work the intricate details of it, just working the ins and outs and knowing the exact whys of why everything is going on.
All right, so it's red zone, it's blocking, to protect the quarterback. I get all that. But you had Desmond Ritter last year. He plays 4 games. Probably should have played more, but he plays 4 games, right? Gets better every single game, right? All right. He's playing with Drake London. He's playing with Tyler Algier, okay? Mm-hmm. And he's playing with somewhat of a banged up, but he's playing with Cordero, all right? Now he's got Jonnu Smith. He's got Kyle Pitts, because remember, he didn't play with Kyle Pitts, and he's got this unit. I can't tell you guys how much this city is going to fall in love with the new number 7. They're going to fall. This guy is going to come at you, and everybody's like, we should have taken Jalen Carter. Thank God you weren't in New York, or you would have said, Bijan Robinson is the greatest running back I've ever seen. No, I'm just telling you, he's going to be really good.
By the way, we're going to have to play the soundbite from the New York talk radio guy who says that Aaron Judge is the greatest Yankee to ever dress out. Yeah, again, New York, brilliant sports takes up there. But guys got to hear this take from Chris, who played it earlier in Yeah Man, No Man. I don't want people to think you had a stroke. When they hear you, doing this voice. Hey, to your point about Ritter, now we had Herm Edwards on, and he said you don't know what you've got in 4 games. I agree. I thought after the grenade toss game in Charlotte, when Mariota completely embarrassed himself, that's it.
That's when they should have made the change.
And it was the bye week. And then you would have gone up against the worst defense in the league, Chicago Bears, at Mercedes-Benz at home.
Correct.
And I think, I've said this a million times, I think that's where Arthur screwed up. But the thing is, we have to remember, John, because the Bucs kept stepping on their own toes, the Buccaneers kept us alive in that division race. And so
that was the hesitancy to put Ritter in.
Mariota's a bet.
I kind of got it.
But it's still, in hindsight, it sucks. Here's Ritter. He says he proved he could play at this level. Did he?
That I could be here. That I'm able to play this game at a high level. And so that was my biggest thing was just going out there and proving that I deserve to be here.
All right, so what I asked earlier, and I tell all of you, don't crash your car when I tell you this team is going to be 8 points a game better.
Whoa, 8? I'll take 4.
8 points a game better, okay? 2 scores. And they're going to be better because they're going to be better in the red zone. They're going to be better at quarterback because let's be clear here, this is an upgrade at quarterback. You have, I think, potentially the offensive rookie of the year in the backfield with a guy that ran for 1,000 yards. You've got Thunder and Lightning. You've got Jonnu Smith. You're not going to believe how good. I wanted Jonnu Smith 3 years ago. Right. You're going to love Jonnu Smith. Every target last year, no drops. No drops. Okay?
Now, he did have 2 terrible years in New England, but then don't forget, they did have an offensive coordinator.
Exactly. And so I think you're going to get a lot out of Jonnu Smith. You're really going to like this guy. I think you're really going to like Scotty Miller. Drove us nuts in Tampa. Now he's on our team. Penny Hart, we saw him at Georgia State, what kind of upside he's got. This offense could really explode this year and be pretty darn good. Matter of fact, it could be one of the better offenses in the NFL.
Well, it's one of the things that Brian Baldinger said on Carl's podcast, talking about positionless football, the matchups. Arthur talked about this last week, talking with the media at rookie minicamp. You can go with a Pitts. Again, guys, Pitts is a stud. If he gets back to form 2 years ago, another weapon to your point. Positionless football. Here is Drake London talking about how it's going to open things up.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like I said, positionless football. You're not going to know where any of us are at. You're going to have to try to find us. And we're just going to go out there and play our style of ball, which is aggressive and physical.
Right. I think you're going to find that this team is high-flying, that they're going to control games. I think they're going to run the football down everybody's throat. I am so excited about this. I haven't been this excited about this team since I was on. When we stood at this is the thing. Back in 2016, in the camp of 2016 of the Super Bowl year, there was Hugh and Wes Durham and I were standing there watching, and we kind of, one of us made the point that we all kind of looked at and said, this team is SEC fast. And it was just so noticeable how fast they were. And we said, they're going to run teams to death. Now, this team is a little bit different. They're going to pound you to death.
Correct.
And so I think they've reinvented it. This is the first year of Arthur Smith as the head coach. This is his team. I think you're going to see the best out of this team. I think this team will get touchdowns in the red zone. I think they're going to do big things.
And it's funny because, this town, we've talked about the fan base, because some guys, just earlier this spring, we had guys going, Arthur Smith, 7-10. I don't think people realize how bereft of talent this team was.
How great 7-10 was.
Yes, and I think that's because people feel it's a Madden game. Well, guys, you finally came out of the darkness into the light. We had money to spend. We addressed every need, depth at defensive line, depth in the secondary, depth at running back. The only X factor is how does Desmond Ridder handle his business, and you just laid it out. They're going to put him in a position to succeed. Speaking of the running backs, everybody feels Tyler Algier now falls off the table. Not true. Algier is going to be a big part of this offense too, guys. Just how they're going to use Bijan is going to be so dynamic. It's going to blow your mind. Here's Algier talking about his new running mate.
But him coming in, being that all-around back, just being out of the backfield, like wherever he needs to be on the field. But like he always said that like he's trying to learn from me, but really I'm learning from him because him being an all-around back, that's my goal. Be all-around back, obviously protecting the quarterback, running the ball, obviously, and then just being a threat in the backfield. Obviously, I'm still striving to be that. So really having him, just having us compete with that, it's good.
All right, the dumbest take when it came to Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson is no good because he played at Texas and they don't play any defense in that league. Oh, okay, so Jerry Rice and let's see, Steve McNair, Terrell Owens, they're no good because they played 1AA ball. Right. I mean, Warner, no good.
It's funny because nobody really was demanding Georgia fans. I was looking for this team to draft Georgia players because they were really good the last 20 years. Now Georgia's winning national championships. Now all of a sudden Georgia fans want the Falcons to draft players. Look, Jalen Carter, if Jalen Carter was here this season, you guys would have no way to quantify if he was doing the job other than sacks. Right? He might not even get that. He might be doing some dirty work. You're going to see instant reaction, instant results with Bijan Robinson. And I think, to your point, John, he's going to win over the city. Fans going to be going bananas. And I get it. We addressed defense long-term and short-term in the free agency market.
Well, Bijan...
And Jalen Carter, by the way, this team doesn't want a ripple. This team doesn't want waves. Arthur Blank does not deal with this anymore, and that's why Jalen Carter was never going to be a Falcon.
What if you put Tyler and Bijan in the backfield at the same time, and then Bijan goes out and look, you got to go with him. There's a linebacker that's gone.
Well, how about this? And you got, let's just say for argument's sake, Pitts on the field with Drake London. You can't sub out. You don't sub. The defense doesn't get to sub, and you got mismatch city. It's awesome. So there you go. We're high on this team because I think if you really take a look at the roster, it's exponentially better. But I do, John, realistically, I temper some of my comments with I still don't know exactly what Desmond Ridder's going to be because I haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah, I get that. You're going to like what you see, though.